Punk Revolution. Hey everybody, today we're going to be reviewing Jay Electronica's newest album, A Written Testimony. This is probably one of the most hyped up albums of the entire freaking year, maybe the entire freaking decade. Jay Electronica literally over a decade ago, like 2007, 2008, so much hype was around him, like he's gonna be the next big crazy rapper everyone's gonna love so much because his song in like Exhibit C is so freaking masterful. He's a poet and he's such a great rapper, etc., etc. Signed to freaking Roc Nation. Oh my god, lots of hype around this album. This is his debut album, surprisingly, even though Jay Electronica has been around for over a decade now. So, lots of hype. Let's see if it lives up to the hype. Let's start by taking a look at the album cover. Well, this is an interesting album cover. It's literally got Arabic on the cover, which is pretty dope. I haven't seen very many album covers that have Arabic on it, so I like that. Pretty unique, pretty cool. And I believe, and I know this because I Googled it online, not because I know how to read Arabic. I believe that album cover, the Arabic stands for A Written Testimony, the album title. So, pretty dope. And it's pretty clear that he chose to use Arabic on the album cover because a lot of this album's content is going to be about Jay Electronica's relationship with Islam. He is clearly a very religious person, really takes Islam very seriously, and that's going to all come into the content of the album, as I will talk about a little bit in a second. But first, I want to talk about the production. So the production on this album, the beats, honestly to me sound a lot like, kind of falls somewhere in between like Jay-Z type beats, like Roc Nation beats, finding a middle ground with like a little bit more abstract sort of like Mad Villainy beats, except not nearly as smooth as Mad Villainy beats. These beats in this album are really loud and bombastic and just like, it's just like really big, and I'm not actually a big fan of it. It's just like, you know, maybe if you're like a 14-year-old who's like really into like, oh my god, the bass sounds loud, that's the best thing ever, then maybe you're gonna find this a cool album. But like, as someone who wants to sit and listen to this album from start to finish, the beats get really grating, and they're not really that good enough to warrant how like loud and in your face they are. So the mixing kind of sucks in my opinion, if I'm being honest. And like how I said, it sounds like a Jay-Z kind of album a little bit. I don't just say that because of the production. I'm saying that because Jay-Z is like half of this fucking album. The first verse in this whole album, rapped, is a Jay-Z verse. Lots of the choruses in these songs are Jay-Z choruses. Jay-Z is in almost every single song, and I honestly bet if you counted the minutes of how much Jay-Z is in this album compared to Jay Electronica, they are probably pretty even. So this is like kind of like, it's advertised as a, oh my god, it's Jay Electronica coming back, but it's actually more like a Jay-Z album featuring Jay Electronica, and that feels kind of awkward to me. So, I already have some mixed feelings about it. But Jay Electronica, he's a legend, he's a wordsmith. What is he I mean, at least the moments we get to spend with Jay Electronica has got to be pretty cool, right? Well, folks, the lyrics here, I mean, yes, I'm sure there's some really like intelligent things going on in the lyrics here. It's very rich. Every single lyric is just packed with references to Islam and the Quran, and more references to Islam and more references to the Quran, and maybe some wordplay here and some puns and stuff. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff going on in the lyrics, but frankly, folks, as a listener who hasn't studied Islam intensively, it's kind of hard for me to say how good these lyrics actually are because he's making so many references I don't fucking understand what the fuck he's saying, and it doesn't connect with me emotionally at all. It's like clearly a very spiritual album, but I'm not connecting with it emotionally. It just kind of feels like a religious fanatic going off and off and off, quoting the Quran and like not really making it like tangible to me or to like anyone who's not a part of Islam. And that's, you know, that's totally fine. It just doesn't work with me. It just comes off as a religious fanatic, okay? There's plenty of times you can use religion in your music and spirituality in your music in a way that's going to be like, yeah, we're all part of the world together. We all love each other. It doesn't matter what religion you're from. We're all in this together, blah, blah, blah. You know, whatever. There's none of that in this album. It just feels like Jay Electronica going off and off and off about how much he loves God. Kind of like how Kanye West was just going off about how much he loves God in his album Jesus is King, but there's actually no real emotion behind him saying, because it just feels like a religious fanatic. There's no emotion there. It doesn't connect. So it's annoying. It's annoying. It's just fucking religious. It's just shitty mixing. Jay-Z album. Jay-Z's lyrics are better than fucking Jay Electronica's, and Jay Electronica's lyrics were supposed to be the fucking meat of the whole album. But it's just religious person shoving shit down your throat, and it's like, I don't even know what he's saying, and it's hard for me to judge. But then there's like moments where it's like, he like uses this term, synagogue of Satan, which I googled, and it has like a lot of anti-Semitic connections, and he uses that lyric right after he references a Rothschild, which is obviously, you know, a wealthy Jewish family that a lot of anti-Semites kind of target and stuff, and it's like, okay, is that just like coincidence, or like, and then he like starts the album off with a freaking speech by like another guy who also has a lot of serious accusations of anti-Semitism against him, so it's just like, what the fuck, dude? This is not like a wholesome, beautiful spiritual journey. It just feels like a fucking religious zealot going off. So I don't fuck with it. Musically, I don't fuck with it. Lyrically, I don't fuck with it. It just kind of feels thrown together. It feels somehow this album that took 13 years to make felt rushed. And just like Jay Electronica has nothing interesting to say other than just whatever he feels like he has to say to get into heaven or something. I don't know. 4 out of 10, folks. 4 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Punk Revolution now.